Gordon Hayward, battling and battling within this league in order for him to reach the top. He has many moments within his career where he was looked at as the real deal.
15 up 27. Hayward, if they win half of them, look at Hayward.
Hayward has come off his best season of his career. Despite that season, he was traded to the Boston Celtics. He was expected to do big things on his first year with his new team, but things didn't go as planned.
If anything, it was just brush contact by Crowder.
We are in a new season. Despite every injury Hayward was battling, Gordon Hayward has unfinished business to settle.
Gets to his spot, rises up before the defense.
Ladies and gentlemen, your boy is back with another video. It's your boy Eli Far back at you guys with another video, man. How you guys doing today? I hope you guys are doing well, and let us get started. Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking about Gordon Hayward, and let me just clarify something real quick. Coming into this season, Gordon Hayward has gotten a lot, and I mean a lot, of criticism coming into this season because he signed probably his largest contract of his career, going to the Charlotte Hornets, pairing alongside, LaMelo Ball and Devontae Graham and company, along with Michael Jordan being the owner of this Charlotte Hornets franchise. And me personally, I had NBA fans come up to me personally and said towards my face that Michael Jordan is a horrible owner because of Gordon Hayward signing this contract, and people were criticizing Gordon Hayward because they didn't feel like Gordon Hayward deserved the contract because of the way he played in previous seasons. But let me just tell you something real quick. We are in this season right now, right? Take into consideration how much criticism Gordon Hayward has received coming into this season and what he's doing in this season. Gordon Hayward is proven to hit all of his critics, all of the people that's criticizing him, and all of his NBA fans within the NBA community as a whole. He has proven to everybody as to why he deserved this contract, and he is balling out. Probably the best season of his whole career this season, and he is playing like he deserved that contract. He is proving his haters and doubters wrong, and that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, before we start, I'm just going to ask you guys for one quick favor, is to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It will be highly appreciated, and it motivates me to produce more NBA content for you guys. And if you guys want, you guys can suggest something in the comment section down below. Basically suggesting what type of videos you want me to do, any type of videos. If you want me to do specific types of NBA content or something else revolving not NBA content, but it's all your decision. If you guys want to suggest anything that you guys want me to do for any future videos, then I'll be sure to look at your comment and make that video that you suggest. But other than that, let us start today's video. Now, just like I've already stated, Gordon Hayward has signed a very large contract coming into this season. Before the season even started, he has signed a 4-year $120 million contract with the Charlotte Hornets, and due to this action, due to this event occurring, Gordon Hayward has had a lot of NBA critics criticizing his style of play coming into this season, comparing his last season coming into this season, and they were using last season and a bunch of recency bias to come to the conclusion that he didn't really deserve that contract. And Gordon Hayward was looked to be as a big finesser, if you really want to think about it, a big finesser, finessing the Charlotte Hornets franchise. But if you want to be technical, people forgot who Gordon Hayward really was. People don't really tend to take into consideration what Gordon Hayward was as a player when he was playing on the Utah Jazz. People have to understand, when Gordon Hayward was playing on the Celtics, he wasn't the #1 guy anymore. He wasn't the first option. He had to resort to players that alongside him regarding Jason Tatum, Kyrie Irving and company, and Jaylen Brown and stuff like that. And he has to share the ball more, resulting him to be a lower option than he was in the Utah Jazz. So obviously, if he's coming to the Charlotte Hornets, he was going to be looked at as the first option again. And if he's going to become the first option, he's going to produce you a bunch of great all-time stats that you could possibly be seen like he did in the Utah Jazz days. And another thing you have to take into consideration is the fact that the time when Gordon Hayward first became a Boston Celtics, he was traded from the Utah Jazz to go to the Boston Celtics, just as the same time Kyrie Irving was traded from the Cleveland Cavaliers to go to the Boston Celtics. The first game in the 2017-18 NBA season, Gordon Hayward suffered a gruesome injury on his leg, causing him to miss the whole entire season. And people were more looking at this event and concluding for Gordon Hayward to not be able to be the same player that he once was on the Utah Jazz, despite of him having this gruesome injury. Because if you want to be technical, they have a point right there, because if you suffer a really bad injury, sometimes players don't come back on the court being the same player that they once were. But if you want to really be technical, fine. You could say that he came back and he wasn't as dominant as he was back when he was on the Utah Jazz, when he was playing on the Boston Celtics by the time he came back from that gruesome injury. But by all means, this is a fact right here. Gordon Hayward was still a pretty great contributor for the Boston Celtics franchise, despite him taking a drop on his stats, despite him taking a drop on his impact on the court. He was still by all means a very great player to have for the Boston Celtics, and he was a very big contributor as to why the Boston Celtics was having so much recent success in recent years to come. If you look at the 2018-19 and 2019-20 NBA season, he was still a very great player, and that is a known fact. That's not an opinion, that's a fact. He was a great player. But like I've already said, his impact and his stats on the court is expected to drop down if he's pairing alongside players like Jason Tatum, Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown, more of those high quality great players like that. And he even played with Kemba Walker. He has a lot of players to resort to, and despite all that, if you want to really be technical, at the time, yes, Jason Tatum was a better player than Gordon Hayward, and Jaylen Brown was too. They were proven to the NBA as to why they were one of the best young players in the league, the best young duo in the league, and Gordon Hayward was resorting to them more, causing them to drop to like the 4th or 5th option. So if he's that low in the option list for a team, of course his stats are going to drop. But now he's going from a team like that to a Charlotte Hornets team who really doesn't have no real superstar, and Gordon Hayward can be that real superstar, be coming from the fourth option to the 1st option on a rebuilding team, and he is showing us as to why he deserves that contract, and he's proving all of his critics wrong at the end of the day. Now for a quick second, as of right now, I just want to do a quick backtracking all the way back to the 2016-17 NBA season regarding Gordon Hayward's last and final season with the Utah Jazz franchise. And obviously speaking, he was no doubt the 1st option on that Utah Jazz franchise. He was an all-star that year. Averaging great quality stats for a 1st option for a playoff team, and he was able to take the Utah Jazz at least past the 1st round as the 1st option. That should say a lot. Gordon Hayward at that time was a reliable 1st option, and I'm sure at that time teams would want to trade for Gordon Hayward to be their 1st option for their franchise rather than the Utah Jazz. And if you really want to take into consideration, yes, he got past the 1st round but got swept the 2nd round. But to his defense, who was beating the Warriors at that time? And now we fast forward to the NBA season that we are currently at as of today, and Gordon Hayward is playing with the Charlotte Hornets, back reuniting with the 1st option on any type of team in general, and he is arguably averaging better stats than he was back in his 2016-17 NBA season, which was considered his best career season at the time before this season. And he's basically topping that season off, that all-star season he had as of that season off this year, are averaging or playing arguably better than that season as a whole. So what does that tell you? He deserved that contract. Yes, he did. Now, if we take stats into consideration, if we're only talking about this season, he is averaging a career high in points per game, averaging 24.1 points per game, a career high in assists, averaging 3.6 assists per game, the same amount of rebounds per game that he averaged in 2016-17 NBA season, regarding 5.4 rebounds per game, a career high in steals per game, averaging 1.3 steals per game. He is averaging a little bit more turnovers, which is as of right now 2.3 turnovers per game, and he is averaging a career high of 51.5 field goal percentage and a career high of 43.5 3-point percentage. Now, if you compare side by side this current season and the All-Star season he had in the past, only looking at stats, he is indeed having a better season this year than the season that was once looked at as his best season of his career before joining the Boston Celtics. And not even just looking at stats, I watched a dozen amount of Hornets games this season, only looking to watch LaMelo Ball play basketball for his first time of his NBA career, and unexpectedly, I've seen how much impact Gordon Hayward was providing the Charlotte Hornets with, and he is playing like he has something to prove this season, no doubt. Now, if you look at circumstances, yes, he is playing for a rebuilding Charlotte Hornets team who is still pretty young, looking to rebuild with pieces such as LaMelo Ball and company, but people can use that and say that Gordon Hayward is only playing at this high quality because of the team he's on and the circumstances that the team is showing. But that is a foolish statement to think about, because we've already seen Gordon Hayward being able to be a first option on a playoff team and at least make it past the first round. He could do that again. He could possibly stay on the Charlotte Hornets for a very long time, and eventually the Charlotte Hornets get enough pieces to at least be a playoff team, and Gordon Hayward can take over to be that first option, pretty much being a very great contributor to the game of basketball and a very huge impact for the Charlotte Hornets when they become a playoff team, to potentially do what he did in 2016-17 NBA season, taking that team past the first round to the second round and possibly to the conference finals. You never know. We all gonna have to wait and see. Obviously the Charlotte Hornets are still rebuilding. They're still gonna have to, play their luck in the lottery draft, get some better pieces in return, but we could possibly be seeing the Charlotte Hornets be a very good team as of one day, and Gordon Hayward can be that first option on a very great Charlotte Hornets team in the future. Now I have one message to portray to Gordon Hayward himself and the whole Charlotte Hornets franchise in general. Gordon Hayward, continue playing at this high level. Continue being this really great impactful player on this Charlotte Hornets team. Continue throughout the whole time, this whole course of action in recent years to come, or in more years to come, to play on this Charlotte Hornets team for however long you want, to be this high quality player that everybody will want on their team as of right now, and as to why you signed this high contract, and you deserve this contract. Now for the Charlotte Hornets, continue playing your odds right. You have young players. LaMelo Ball can break out to be this really great player in the league, and you could possibly have something good for your franchise coming in the long run. You never know. You just gotta keep playing your cards right and playing great basketball, and have Gordon Hayward as your number one option and build alongside Gordon Hayward with other pieces to return. But other than that, that will be the end of today's video. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. I will greatly appreciate it. I'm out. Peace.